Join me to pledge allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, first thing we have on the agenda is to approve the agendas. There is one addition that we want to add on there is to discuss the case management card. I think we had one discussion once earlier, but I want to add that on there.
That addition, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda with the addition. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion is carried. Okay, you have the approval of the minutes is next. You have the minutes attached to the agenda.
Minutes all look good to me. I'd make a motion we accept the minutes as written.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, next we have is the sheriff's quarterly report.
Everybody have a copy of it with them?
Yep.
Yes, we do. For the months of April, May, and June of 2017, basically we took in a total, after everything was paid out, of $14,168.80. Pretty straightforward like it always is. Does anybody have any questions on anything there?
I didn't see anything unique, or was there something you wanted to point out?
Nope, nothing I want to point out. I will let everybody know that July 1st of this year, the state has increased the amount we can charge for our paper services, basically doubling every type of civil paper we serve for fees. So we should see a substantial increase under fees due, where we take in our civil papers. So that should almost double every month.
Is your portion increasing, or the amount totally you collect increasing?
The
at
amount
same
we
time?
charge for service, the
Okay.
amount our department takes in.
Okay, okay.
So it is your department, not the state?
Right,
Okay.
right.
Can those be farmed out too?
Civil papers?
Yes.
Yeah, people can farm them out to a private,
Okay.
Uh,
So
paper
they may
server.
not double, but they should get close.
but we don't have anybody around here
Around here
doing
that does it.
And most of them just come into our office.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'd say all of them.
Okay.
It happens.
So, that's more so in the cities and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions, concerns for our department at all?
Ken, on these fireworks permits that we do you get a copy of those, or do you see an email about them, so you know that they're happening? And
Other than just the Board of Supervisors
Report.
agenda, you know, who's coming in to get them and stuff.
would that be helpful if we sent you just an email that, yes, we passed one on this, and you can give
That'd
it
be-
to your
that'd be fine.
officers, so they
That'd be
know,
good.
they don't make a trip out to, no, wait a minute, they got a permit.
That'd be fine.
Just
I
to
don't
keep
think- I don't think we even had any calls
Okay.
out in the county. We had a few in some of the towns. Nothing like the city of Carroll had, though.
But just to keep the loop going, so
That'd
it's
be
a little
fine.
more information.
That'd be fine, and I can just let the comm center know.
Yeah, that'd be good. That would be
They can
good.
put
That
it on
would-
the computers
They
at
can
night.
kind of head some of that off at the pass
They're doing
then
that.
for you
Yeah.
too, so.
That would be fine.
Okay, and then the 1st of August, we're gonna be busy, right?
1st of August, we begin our jail study committee in full earnest, so. Be 3 full days of meetings. And when they're all said and done, they will submit a report back to us with their findings, what they think needs to happen as far, if we need a new jail, if we can renovate an existing one, number of beds, all that stuff, so.
Who's all gonna be participating in that?
Oh, boy, I wish I had, I can.
I mean, it's a
get
pretty big
I can
list,
get pretty
isn't it?
close. Neil and Jean,
Right.
Courtney, Zach Niehaus, myself, Cindy Houghton, Linda Frank, Chris Whitaker from Region 12. He's committed all 3 days there. And then we'll have the sheriff from Dallas County and one of their supervisors. They got their bond passed, but now they need to kind of figure out how they're gonna do things. And then,
So they haven't gone through this program?
no, they haven't.
They passed the bond first.
They did, 4th time, they finally got it through.
Do you know who the supervisor is that's coming up?
No, I don't.
I don't have a name either.
Okay.
Um,
Brad Burke?
Brad Burke will be there. And then there's gonna be, I think, a fairly large contingency from Monona County. Basically, they just had their annual jail inspection from the state, and Sheriff Pratt called me the other day, and pretty much he put them on notice that they need to look at doing something. So he'd heard me talk about what we were doing, so they are gonna join in with us, since they're fairly close.
That'll be interesting, because having people from 2 other counties, I can see an issue with them taking over the meeting, but I can see a lot of questions that they may have that could help us make a good decision as well. So it'll be interesting, to see how this all
Absolutely.
works out.
Yep.
And Ken talked, and we've tried to get some other local people out here, so when we do something that might help support this thing, like some bankers and stuff, but nobody wants to commit to 3 days, 3 full days. And, you know, that's a big commitment.
Yeah, had a lot of interest from people saying, you know, they'd like to sit in on
Some of it.
a little portion of the meeting or something, but the guy from the National Institute of Corrections said that doesn't do anybody any good. They need to commit all 3 days for it. And when it came down to that, of course, finding somebody that was gonna give up 3 days of their time was
Yeah.
impossible. So I'm happy with the committee we have. Good.
There was a couple parties in here that wanted to be our architects. One of them reached out to me a few weeks ago. I think I may have sent that out to you, and I told him, hey, just wait a minute, we're gonna go through the pony program before we make any decisions.
I've got it, he called and left a message for me.
Steve, I think his name.
Got his name and number written down, and I'm not gonna call him until.
No, he
after
knows
we're
we're gonna do
done.
the pony program. He says, cool. We thought that was all right. So, he's looking for business, obviously.
And then something else real quick on another note. Our current K-9 is being retired. He's got some health problems, so he just isn't coming to work anymore. We do have a car set up for it, and we are gonna look at getting another K-9 unit. Even though the city's pursuing one, I think it's important that we have one out in the county. We have a lot of pursuits, drug activity of our own. I don't wanna rely on somebody else's dog versus having our own.
Retiring, huh?
Yep, and when we bought him, he had been in another department for a few years, and then, they didn't want him anymore, the handler quit, left, nobody else wanted to pick him up, so we went back to the original trainer, and then we picked him up at a reduced cost. I think we've had Ike for 5 years, so, and he came from overseas, so we have no idea really how old he is. So, but I say he's getting old.
Couldn't have papers, huh?
No.
He's an immigrant.
Yep.
Yep.
Undocumented.
Undocumented.
Are we gonna get a new one?
Okay, anything else?
Headline.
Oh, you did find something to put for that.
Headline. Sheriff uses undocumented immigrants.
Yeah, I need a motion to accept the,
I'll move to accept the sheriff's quarterly report.
I'll second that.
been moved and seconded, to accept the sheriff's quarterly report. Is there any other questions? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion is carried.
All right, thank you. Everybody have a good day. See you
Yeah,
August
thanks,
1st.
Ken. Thanks, Ken.
No, I don't think so.
Free milk biscuits for everybody.
We could, I
Down
guess.
the other one, that one got killed, they had a big to-do with
The
all
dog's kind of scary.
It is?
Yeah, it just looks mean.
That today. Okay, next we have the fireworks permit for Central Church, Carroll, Highway 24336, Highway 30. And this is for August the 11th, and it's for their 2017 Youth and Family Rally.
I'll make a motion to approve that permit.
I'll
Okay,
second
been moved and seconded to approve the fireworks permit. Any further questions? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried.
Church services with fireworks.
Yeah.
For fire and brimstone, but this is fireworks.
Well, I think they were the ones selling them in the tent.
Yeah, I think they were too.
Oh, really?
They were
Yeah,
too,
so I
Courtney.
think these might be,
Oh,
Leftovers?
it's in the wrong place again.
Some leftovers or
It could be.
something they purchased cheap.
Inventory reduction.
We'll sit on the patio and watch them.
Yeah,
I
mark that date on
I
your
scratched
calendar.
it.
that's fine.
I'm probably gonna bring another one of those fireworks permits in too, I think.
Okay, next is we, to approve the fiscal year 17 year-end substance abuse report. We get these semi-annually, and this is the substance abuse we get from the state of Iowa that we subcontract out to new opportunities. And this is their report, shows their objects, their goals, activities, and any questions on this? And this is, what, $3,200 grant, something like that?
Yeah, it's not, I was gonna say 35, but 32 might be correct.
It's $3,000.
I don't know if it has a dollar.
And that comes from the state.
That comes from the state. You know what, it could be 37 now that I think about it.
Yeah, there's not an amount on here.
But this is the year-end report.
If there's no questions or comments, I'd make a motion to approve the substance abuse report.
Okay?
I'll second that
Then
motion.
moved and second to approve the fiscal year 17 year-end substance abuse report. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried.
You have to stamp on that.
Stamp on that.
Yeah, I'd say we'd use it.
You gonna sign that?
I'll just initial it.
Okay, next we have is the approval of the expenses for this cycle. Is there any questions on the expenses? I did not see any. I was questioning the one in regard to sheriff's CPR and AED training, but I got to remember that's for the cards that they have to provide for them, and there's a charge for that, so that's what that's for.
We had a pretty large bill in my office, but we got our new plat books. We get those every fall, or every two, we do it every 2 years, I believe, so.
Have you gotten them already, or?
Yeah, they're here, yeah.
125?
Yeah.
Got how many you get?
We got 125 of them. And we got the same amount last time, and we had 2 left, so it's pretty good. And we sell them at a price to cover the 18.15. We don't make money on them, we just cover the cost. And that's kind of just been the way it's always been.
If there's no concerns, I'll move to approve the payables.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and second to approve the payables. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, next we have manure management annual updates. First one is Justin Schrader, section 33 of Wheatland Township, there's no changes. Jason Opperman, section 29 of Washington is the original manure management. Carson site Rodney Inners, section 27 Ewell, there's no changes. Stephen Neese, section 15 of Washington Township, no changes. Birch Pork, Bob Roy, section 31 of Arcadia Township, no changes. Dave Robinson, section 35 of Eden Township, no changes. Danny Brooks, section 27 of Eden Township, no changes. Schoen Farms, number 1, Joey Schoen, section 11, Grant Township, no changes. Okay. And now the next thing we have is the case management card. Dean asked me to bring this up, and I think we had a discussion about letting people use it, but it was over there and it, Dean, you wanna?
Well, yeah, I think I was missing that day when you guys discussed it, but I went to the Board of Health meeting and that car was sitting there, and it had dust all over it, and it looked like it hadn't been used for a while, and I asked Megan, and she says, well, she can only remember it being used once since case management for a short trip by the Veterans Administration, so I just want to know what we're gonna do with that car. You know, I mean, I think I could have used it the next day to go to Oakland, you know, if it was sitting over here. So, I understand that it doesn't belong to the county, correct?
Well, the car was purchased with mental health
Money.
funds, back when the county was in charge of those funds. It was purchased out of Fund 10.
So, title of the car says what?
Carroll County.
Carroll County.
That takes care of it, I think.
It's got case management sticker on it.
Is it
You know,
magnetic or?
pull, I don't know.
I
Stuck
think
on?
they're stuck on it.
If we could pull it off and put a Carroll County sticker on it, I think.
I think the only thing we would have to
Just
worry
cover up
about
Case management or something, yeah.
is if you sell the car, that the proceeds would probably have to go back into where they were paid from. And with it being a regional control now, we'd probably be better off keeping it, in my opinion, because
The county
we're
can
not
actually
gonna
get
have
better
that.
use out of it that way.
I think so.
Of that,
and it's
of that
not-
money.
That car's not worth a lot of money.
No.
On the second judicial district, the people there get paid 39.5 cents or something like that, whatever the state rate is, which is for mileage, and they have their own cars, and they are realizing a significant savings by owning and having their employees drive those cars as opposed to paying that lower rate. So I'm thinking that if that, as Dean is suggesting, I like that suggestion, Dean, that we should have this car available for other meetings, you know?
Yeah.
Like if Gene is going to Cherokee, or we go to Des Moines, or Region Hazmat or something.
Right, right.
More than a 10-mile trip, that you check and see if the car's available and use the county car as opposed to
Mileage.
collecting mileage as we generally do here.
Get reimbursed for your gas. If you use your own, if you pay for your own gas, get reimbursed for that. Is that the way you would do that?
Well, I'd have the right way to do, I mean, it'd be very rare that you'd have to fill up out of town if you filled up here.
Okay.
Because you would use the county, you'd want to
Depot.
use the county.
Use the county, have a county car for that, the
In the car.
redevelopment needs it.
Now, if you were gonna have that car for several days out of town, maybe you might need it, but I don't know that, once in a while, we'll run into that with the ambulance. You know, if they go up to like Minnesota or something, once in a while, they'll have to put gas in up there and we'll have to pay for it, but usually we try to pay the
At the depot.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I agree, Dean, in the rare case where you happen to leave without checking your gas or be on something where you'd have to refill, sure, you get reimbursed dollar for dollar for gas.
Yeah.
It'd be worse for you.
Yeah. It just seems like a common sense thing to do. I mean,
That's to me.
you know,
Well, and
if Rosie needs it, you know, she can come over here and get it if it's parked in this parking lot.
And I would be okay with being the office that kind of oversaw who, you know,
Scheduling.
the scheduling of it,
Yeah.
and Rich had talked about maybe trying to get something set up online, so if you knew you had a meeting, you could go
Oh,
online and see if
great.
it was
You
available.
could look at a calendar and say, nope, the car's used busy that day.
I would
can't
have
use
to
it."
check with Carl and see if there's
If it's
something we can
possible.
do. It might just be as simple as creating like an Outlook calendar or
Yes.
something like that.
But I mean, you surely don't expect somebody to drive out of the way to come to Carroll to get that car. though.
I don't think so.
You know,
What's
like
that?
you going to Des Moines or something like that.
Like
for
if he
me.
was gonna go south, I wouldn't expect him to come to Carroll and then go. But
Or,
Well, when you go to your yes meeting, you can come through Carroll, pick it up and go.
You know-
I would probably come to Carroll and get it if I was going to an Oakland meeting, you know, down to, that's a long ways.
Yeah, and for a couple of us live in Carroll, if we're going to Des Moines meeting, absolutely, I'd be glad to do that.
You know, I've visited with Cindy a couple times too, and she doesn't use her assessor car a lot, so while we got this in play here, is there any way we can make a pool out of those two? There'd be two different vehicles to use now. You've got separate funds and being paid for. If we would take it to a ISAC meeting and we would take Cindy's, we would owe the assessor's office from our fund into hers. But
That would be great, and I'm thinking, why don't we try it with one car first and see how it
Yeah,
works?
yeah.
And we keep talking about us, but if the treasurer or another officer, auditor, whoever has a meeting in Des Moines, they should take it as well.
Absolutely.
And I don't believe I'm just questioning if there'd be any insurance issue because of that.
I would have, Joanne checks people's records for anybody that could be or does drive county vehicles. So
Okay.
I guess if we knew that that person was gonna be taking it, we'd have to check and make sure that, I think that, I don't know if she does that every quarter. She just make sure nobody has any violations, that, make sure they've got a license, a valid license. But I can check with her after the meeting and find out, what do we do if it's somebody that maybe doesn't, like, I don't drive a county vehicle, so I don't know that she's checking my driving record, but if she would need any additional information to check that if we were driving that, and I can ask Terry too, what his recommendation would be. Because I'm sure there might be other people that we don't normally, like, I don't know that your guys' records are getting checked. Because you guys have your, we don't have a vehicle that you guys drive. But like Zach's is, and all the roads guys, and, everybody's
Sure.
is, but I can certainly find out. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal, but I'd like to make sure that we're.
Sure.
Following
Yeah.
the rules.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd like to know in advance as opposed to, oops, we've had an accident
Now
and you
we
should have
got
been
the
approved to drive, or something.
This person shouldn't have been driving.
Yeah.
Well, as far as, the assessor's vehicle, I think environmental health has a vehicle there too that doesn't get much usage.
Right.
And I know Carrie did say anybody could use those.
Yeah.
Just check with her.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like your suggestion that we, try it out and see how it works, and, it may be a great thing, and.
It might not
Yeah.
be, but it might.
Yeah.
It sure looks like it should be.
Yeah.
To me, it does, yeah.
But I forget about it because it's not here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if it was sitting here, I think you would have a tendency to, now you did mention something about if we had a county sticker on it, the police department would leave it alone?
Yeah, and we could let them know too. But
Okay.
then I also thought, we could park it
They look
down
for
where
overnight
there's
parking
other
here.
departments parked.
I didn't know what you meant by the police department leaving it alone. I thought, no, this is not licensed to drive fast.
Because Carrie's
Yeah, we'll be
vehicles
taking
are
it to a
down
lot of
here.
meetings.
Okay,
There's
over here,
probably-
it's, over here it's okay?
Yeah, we
You want
might be
lights
able to
on it?
reserve a spot for that
For the
car.
parking, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of
You're
having
gonna get a
it,
ticket from the city.
instead of having it out in the lot, because we don't want
It's
cars
a
sitting there
smaller
like in the
vehicle.
winter, because that don't
Yeah,
have snow
right.
removal. But if we put it down here
I don't
and just
It's out of the
reserve a
way.
spot for it,
Yeah.
Is it a Focus? Is that
Yeah.
what it
Yeah,
is?
yeah, Ford Focus.
and I looked, it was like I want to say a $12,300 car, purchased brand new. And I don't remember the year, but
I think it's a great idea.
Probably
And
gets-
I think we should check the insurance and then institute the idea.
Yeah.
And if Carl or somebody could set up a simple sign-in website,
Be great.
That'd be
that'd be
great.
great. I could
we could access
If I
it
was going
anytime
to
you
mine,
want.
I could say, hey, I'm going to mine Tuesday, is the car available?
Put it
Yes
in.
or no, and go from there.
Good.
I like the idea.
It would be nice on the website if you could say, I wanted the car but it wasn't available, if that situation happened.
Just so we could track and see how many times we're getting turned down. That way we can decide
Yeah.
whether we put another car in the pool or look at other alternatives.
If it happens a lot, we should consider bringing another car in. If it never happens,
Mhm.
one car is enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
If that's, can be done, I think it can.
Nope. Good.
Okay, we'll bring it up again once you check into it. See, you know, if we do that, if there's any ramifications, particularly on insurance rate and stuff like that.
Okay. Very good. Thanks, guys.
All right, next is committee reports. Rich?
I had daycare last Monday. Not too much on their agenda. They are looking for help for the winter. Summer is coming to the end, and a lot of the high school kids are leaving, so they'll be looking to do some. And they've got some pretty good applicants, so I think they feel pretty good. I did hear their advertising on the radio also, so. But I think they're going to do well with that one. One of the other things they filed for the Timmerman grant, they're asking for a lot of money. They're trying to rebuild their playground. They can't seem to hold grass, so they're gonna put some turf down, but they need to get rid of some water issues first, some drainage issues, so that pooling it all together, it's about a $90,000 project. And they do have a few dollars they have saved for quite a few years. It's not even close to that, but they're willing to put that up, plus they're gonna do some fundraisers, and we'll see where the grants go. Other than that, everything seems to be working fairly well for them. They're getting some other issues, same with their floors, and computers are always an ongoing thing for them, that they're gonna try to make some updates, but they have funds for that, so. Other than that, I went to the Farm Bureau meeting, and that was awfully well done. I thought it was very tasteful, so. Other than that, I didn't have anything else. I have nothing coming up this week. And that's kind of a good, quiet week.
Dean?
Yeah, I had the Board of Health meeting on Tuesday night. And it was a brief meeting. You know, there was not a lot going on there. I'll cover a couple things, brief items before we start. I think the Board of Health nurses, county nurses doing a good job. There seems to be some real stability there. The numbers look good, and we're getting a lot done there. So, yeah, I'm happy with the way that has turned out. I think, well, by Marcia taking over that position, I think we eliminated a lot of issues and problems. So, I think that's been a good thing. We did have a discussion about environmental health and the time of transfer well testing. And on the agenda read, set public hearing for consideration of adoption Iowa Administration Rule 567, Chapter 39, as rules of the Carroll County Board of Health. And it's that comes as a recommendation from the county attorney. It's unclear exactly what he wants. He was invited to the meeting. He did not attend. The Board of Supervisors already has an ordinance, and their ordinance has that. And so it's confusing as to why the Board of Health would have to approve it, set a public hearing and approve it. So I guess with that, the Board of Health has determined that we try to get to the bottom of this and do that next week at the July 31st meeting. And it'll be the Board of Health Chairman will be on the agenda to clarify this public hearing, and just exactly, and invite John to clarify it for us. So,
And he will be here.
he will be here. Okay, so that's good. I think we need to get, we're not going anywhere with this, and it's a frustrating thing, and so we need to take care of that. That was the Board of Health meeting, and then on Wednesday. Any comments on that? Wednesday, I went to the East and West Nishnabanda Coalition meeting down in Oakland. It was, I had a lot of questions as this meeting was going on, because, Rich, you were at the North Raccoon.
Mm-hmm.
And at the North Raccoon, we were setting up, actually at the Nishnabanda, one prior to this, they set up the chairman, and we went through that process. Went to the Raccoon, North Raccoon, then they did the same thing, set up the chairman and the officers for for that WMA. Then I went down to this one, and it was just a confusing situation. The last thing we did at the North Raccoon was, I was on a committee to help hire a project coordinator for the next 5 years to take care of all the issues that are coming up in the WMA. So when I went down to the Nishnabanda, they were plowing way ahead of that. They were talking about projects, and finally somebody said, I was about to say it, but somebody said, well, do we have a project coordinator? Well, yeah, they had one application. I didn't even know they had opened any applications. It was not the same as this. I mean, you have the same people, the same DNR people running both of them, but it's a different deal. I mean,
No consistency. You're going two
there's no
different directions.
consistency. I mean, this one was, I thought they were pretty progressive, but now this one down there, boy, they were really plowing right ahead. And so it came up as to who the project coordinator was. Well, it's this Carol Morgan from Oakland.
I figured that.
So I mean, it's, I don't have any problem with that, but I mean, it was just a little bit fuzzy the way it was all happening, but,
She was up there.
She was up there.
She should have seen exactly what happened there.
well, she knew exactly, and she knew what was going on. I asked her, I had a few questions for her up here in Lake City that day, and so she knew exactly what was going on. And then I asked her, during the meeting, I said, well, are we gonna have a project coordinator? She goes, well, yeah, you'll hear more about that.
Well, that's why I ask you right now.
So I mean, I guess it's all good.
Dad's an engineer down in Hamburg.
Oh.
And so
But Carroll Morgan, her dad is the engineer down in
Well, she
Hamburg.
used to be his counsel.
Yeah,
she did?
yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
In
She's from Hamburg.
Potawatomi.
She's from Hamburg.
Amber.
Oh,
Yeah.
way down there.
Yeah.
No,
Or,
she lives where they have the rodeo,
Sydney.
outside.
Sydney, that's right.
Pretty close together.
Yeah, Sydney.
Yeah. So, to make a long story short, I mean, they just went about it a little bit different way, and it was not confusing to anybody else there, but it was confusing to me because I was in both meetings. So I saw it, and it was just confusing. There was nobody else from up there except Kara, so it was confusing to me the way it was going, and so I think there was a lot of discussion about, about the projects that they're gonna be doing down there. I mean, the money's, like the Raccoon, the money's going to Buena Vista and Pocahontas County. Down there, it's going down into Fremont County and Mills County. So we're not gonna see any of it, but, the whole process with this whole thing is just to be part of that WMA for the future. And so I think at some point in time, unless they need to have somebody there for a vote, which I don't know that's, I think the executive committee is probably going to take care of all the projects, and so I think this will kind of slow down, you know, until there's more dollars become available, so.
And I'm just gonna kind of jump in here a little bit. I agree with Dean. I think the whole thing will kind of come out in the laundry here. My only concern is that we stay with these meetings, is if they do hire project coordinators, you know, there's not a lot of money in there right now. And project coordinators will chew that up fairly quickly, just by year, by year, by year.
Yeah, but
So
there's
we have a little, I have a little concern, that we don't want to tie ourselves, and I think everybody kind of has the same opinion, we don't want to tie ourselves financially to them, but we're willing to do projects in our counties.
There's gotta be some sustainability there.
Right, we're on a fine line, but I think that too will come out in the laundry, I'm hoping.
Yeah, the
So-
dollars involved right now is all federal dollars, it's all FEMA. They're
Right.
paying the project coordinators for a 5-year period, and everything that goes with it. So there's an administration budget there that has to be followed, so I don't think anything's, I would be surprised if anything got out of control here, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but, so I guess, you know, as far as, I learned more, you continue to learn more about this, and I guess for me, it's learning more, and I talked to the IDNR about, you know, the middle, south and middle Raccoon, and getting that thing going again. And so, you know, I think that this will help us in focusing on that. And we just have to get with Dallas County and Yale and
Dean, do
and
you
get
think
that ball rolling.
the fiscal agents are right now are Buena Vista County and then Fremont and Mills County?
Mills County is the.
And do you think that's the way it's gonna go, is by project, or do you think that they'll maybe come with a common fiscal agent, such as when we, maybe like a Region 12 or something, or a region, whatever they're in, but so many counties are in so many different regions, that might not work real well either, but I think it's that consistent financial.
Yeah, I don't think that the fiscal agent will stay with a county.
Okay.
You know, I think it's up in Buena Vista because that's where it started. That's where
Correct.
somebody had to have a checkbook to get this thing going, and
Yeah.
so that's where it started. Down here the same way. You know, I think as these meetings go on and as this money, these dollars disappear, you know, it's gonna look different
This
after that.
thing could take. some
Yeah,
wiggle.
so it could take some turns, and how, you know, I think, you know, how the executive committee does that and approaches the fiscal agent, I think
Okay.
will be different. You know, it's just like in the middle and south, you know, I don't think Dallas County wants to have anything to do with it, by appearances. So, you know, if we're willing to do something, we could probably get it going again.
They were the catalyst to get it going the first time.
They were.
Dallas was,
Yeah.
Brad go lately.
Mhm. But I think
They had
that's.
the grant to do it the first time.
Yep. But now that's pretty much, I don't think they're interested at this point in time, the way it appears to me. And so if we get it going again, it might be Carroll County that's gonna have to resurrect it. And I think that would be a good thing, just to get it back where we could accept dollars if they become available. So I think, you know, that's what the future of the WMAs is that it's established so that if dollars become available, we can participate, so. I think that's where it's going. I don't really have any more to report on that, if there's no more questions. But we'll see how they talked a lot about some issues down in those counties for the flooding. And they had specific items that they went, Riverton, little town of Riverton has 28 people or something, but the road floods very easily down there, and so, you know.
They're an isolated community.
They're an isolated
quite
community,
often.
yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot of things. It was a good discussion. There was a lot of participation by everyone, so. That was my week. This week, I don't have anything, so.
Neil?
Okay. Last week on Monday, on behalf of this board, I did the radio and newspaper on Monday. On Tuesday, of course, I attended the Farm Bureau meeting, and I just want to say, I think it's great that they invite us to their meetings, because whether you remember or not, Farm Bureau has quite a tax base, and they're the ones that use all the secondary roads as much as anyone, and have the farm machinery of various sizes, so I think it's important to have a good association with Farm Bureau, and I appreciate them inviting us as supervisors. Wednesday at the Coalition of Human Services meeting here in Carroll, the program was by the Children and Families of Iowa, the Parent Partner Coordinator, Sarah Robertson, and what gave the program was quite brief, but with the Parent Partner is just what it says. They partner up with parents, and they work with people who have had issues with their children being removed by DHS or something like that, and they try to keep families together and work with them in respect to those kind of issues. And coming up this week, on Tuesday, I have the RSVP and foster grandparent meetings, and on Wednesday, I have a executive committee meeting with the 2nd Judicial District.
Okay. Marty?
Last Wednesday evening, went up to Odebo for our Raccoon Valley Electric. Jim Gossett, he was appointed the new CEO of Raccoon Valley. He wasn't there last Wednesday. He had another Basin Power meeting up in South Dakota. And basically what they talked a little bit about was the solar farms, and they're trying to get solar farms put together. And that's kind of the new and up-and-coming thing, and they're just in the beginning stages of that. We're going to talk about it at the annual banquet here in Glidden a little more tonight, and that's in September. So I had last week. This week, Wesco, I'm in the process of putting the director's evaluation together, and I'm going to meet with Starla Webb and Donna Sharkey over at Wesco sometime this week and kind of go through that, get the director's evaluation put together and summarized this week. That's all I have.
Okay, last week, I also attended a Farm Bureau meeting, and then Friday I had the Yes Center board meeting. Things are kind of slowing down right now up there for a little bit. But at that day, Friday, they had 6 there, they averaged 6.24 for June. They were running anywhere from 6 to 10 throughout the month. They did hire some new staff, and one person that did quit them came back and they rehired him from Kansas City. Found out that down there wasn't what he wanted, so he came back. It's terrible when you can't read your own writing. Anyway, we went through the payables. Everything was good there. Their financials, they look good. They had a fair amount of receivables that they had, but most of those did come in after the end of the month. So right now, this being the end of the year, I think they're sitting about where they were at on budget, a little less, but of course they had more expenses with kids. So it looks like they're gonna wind up with about, right now there's 65,588. I think there's another 70,000 receivables on top there, so finally having some good years up there. We did have our insurance person came in and went through the insurance, and one thing we talked about this is something you might want to remember, but they're under 50 employees. So with Walmart, if we sign a record of agents with them, instead of getting our insurance from Walmart, even though we still have Walmart, that outfit will do the compliance scheduling and all that kind of stuff for them up there. So we're looking at that. So if you got any groups that are under 50, something to think about, where Walmart will not do that work for you. So they make sure you're all in compliance with all the laws in regard to healthcare. So that was good. Other than that was last week. This week, I have got a CHC on tomorrow afternoon. Manning, I've been invited to sit on their comprehensive plan in regard to collaboration with other entities. I think also Ken is involved in that with between the sheriff and the police. And then on possibly on Thursday, I may have to go to Des Moines for another legislative leadership thing, but that may get canceled if they think we don't need to go yet. So I haven't heard about it. So that's my week. And anything for you, Courtney? Okay.
Next week, we got Board of Health will be here. John Warden said he would attend. We have that first reading for the amendment to the ordinance 5, the floodplain. And I got a note here that I need to mail the farm lease termination to our renter, because they have to have it before September 1st.
Do we want to do that?
Well, we only have a year lease.
No, no. If it automatically continues at the same price on September 1st, if we don't terminate him and he doesn't terminate us, if we do nothing, it goes another year.
Okay.
If we want to terminate him, by all means, we do want to send a termination. I'm not in favor of sending a termination notice.
The rent's okay.
And that's the reason why. If this board wishes to do that and renegotiate or put it out for bids again, fine. But I'm happy with the rent we get. I'm expecting him to terminate us, but I would wait and see for that.
But that would be something that we should discuss, put on the agenda for next week then.
Yeah, we should. Courtney's right. If we want to do it, we need to do it by
We need to
September
make
1st. We need to make a decision.
Formal decision.
It's not something.
At some
we
point
need-
in time
it's
prior to
something-
then, yeah.
Something we need to discuss and decide before September
Because it's
1st.
not on the agenda today.
All right. Well,
I
yeah,
did-
yeah,
I'll put it
have
next
that
week.
on the agenda and we'll discuss it again.
And I also want to have a closed session too on the agenda in regard to some property.
Do you know the code section?
I don't know the code section.
Is it okay if I do that the last part of the last thing in the meeting?
Sure.
On the agenda?
But I would like to have John, if he can get it. Is he going to be here anyway with the Board of Health?
At
It's gonna be-
9:30, but we have a hearing at 10.
See what works for him, if he can get it working, how we can work it
One more thing, there's the coffee for the 2 retirees.
Oh,
Next
that's Monday,
morning-
too.
Next Monday morning early, so at 8 o'clock. So if you think about it, drop through.
Yeah, good, thanks for bringing that
I
up.
just
21.5J is the real estate one.
thought about it
Thank
earlier
you.
and I forgot about it.
Because, and Dave is going to be here too, so Dave will want to be involved. Dave Paulson.
The public hearing is on.
Public hearing's at 10.
That's in regard to, I just drew a blank.
Stockpile?
No, the public hearing.
Oh.
Oh, the floodplain.
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 That's
So that won't take long.
It shouldn't.
Okay. Anything else? Any comments from those in attendance? Okay, if not, we're in order for a motion to adjourn.
I'd make that motion.
Second it?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary? Motion carried. It actually lasted longer than